but that's not how it works. Like, we actually, no.
I know that that's not what you guys want to happen, but that is what is happening.
You know for a fact that that's what they did? I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Time to go for 30. Oh my God.
Bill Maher had some great pushback on the Hunter Biden laptop stuff with his lefty friends over the weekend. KJP got gotcha'd, as she does all the time. Some dude dressed up as a woman and played high school basketball. The video is hilarious. The woke freakout has reached a new level on social media with a particular HBO star and more. Coming up on this episode of Daily Caller Live, my name is Jobob. Daily Caller Live starts right now.
2, 1.
Here we go!
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually their name, Jobob.
Live from the Dingy Bunker, completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live. Thanks so much for tuning in on today. It is August 30th, the year of our Lord 2022. Brand new you in 22. Yeah. If you haven't started the brand new you, it's too late. You can't yet. You're gonna have to wait till next year to start the new me in 23. I just came up with that. That was kind of fun. Lots of stuff went on yesterday and over the weekend that we didn't get to because I spent 20 minutes tirading on the whole Donald Trump FBI Mar-a-Lago thing yesterday. So without further ado, we'll get right into it. KJP, as I've mentioned numerous times, Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, is not good at her job. I feel like I talk about this way too often and way too much, but it's also true, and she's continuing to do that job, making I don't want to say a fool out of herself, but not a smart out of herself. I would imagine if we're going to place bets here, and I'd like to let you know, let me know in the comment section what you think. I would bet money that around the holidays, around Christmas, we're going to see KJP say, you know what, I'm thankful for the opportunity given to me by President Biden. I'm looking to spend more time at home with my family. And for those reasons, I will be stepping down from the White House press secretary and all the blah, 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 blah. I would hope that in around December, maybe January, I can replay this clip from August and say that I was right. But nevertheless, she's still in the job as of right now, and got some funny. So yesterday we were talking about President Trump's Mar-a-Lago raid, and I went on this big long screed about, hey, what happens if the president can just declassify anything at any point? What happens if Donald Trump waved his hand over a magic box of classified information and said, these are now declassified? What if he tapped it with a magic pen and said, these are declassified? I don't know. What happens? Somebody asked that of KJP yesterday, and her answer was actually kind of interesting. Interesting in the sense that they don't know either. Nobody freaking knows. Watch this clip, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. Not to go into this big whole long thing about the FBI raid in Mar-a-Lago and classified documents, because if you missed all of that, go watch yesterday's episode. Go download the podcast from yesterday. We talked in depth about that. But it is interesting that I brought it up, and then it got brought up in the White House press briefing room. Not saying there's a correlation. I'm just saying that's interesting. Check this out. Also, by the way, if you haven't already, click the little like button, the little share button. Really, really does help us out. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Just engaging with the post in any way, shape, or form really, really does help us out to continue doing this, especially on Facebook. If you do it, it doesn't cost you anything. Just click the little thing right there. Really helps us out. Anyways, check this out from the White House press briefing yesterday. Gotcha on the FBI docs.
There's been a lot of confusion. Wondering if you could shed any light on this question of whether this White House or this president believes that a president has the ability to declassify classified documents simply by saying so.
Look, we want to be very careful here. As you know, we're just not going to speak It is really, the question that you're asking me is related to everything that is happening currently right now with the Department of Justice and even ODNI. As I said, we're aware of the letter. We did not have any advanced knowledge of the letter. Right now, we are at this time, we're just not going to make comments on any questions related to this, any underlying questions, any content that is related to what we're currently seeing that the Department of Justice is independently working on, an investigation that is independent, and we're just not going to comment at this time.
Freaking boom! Again, yesterday, if you're not following this, I was posing the question of there's really no standardized way for documents to be declassified. The President of the United States has the ability and the authority to declassify anything he or she wants. Therefore, the case can be made of, well, Donald Trump said these are declassified and then took them home to his house. Now, they're still government property, I think. I don't know how that works. But the whole, these are top secret, how dare he? Nobody actually knows how the process works. There's no solidified process. There's been paperwork in the past that's been filled out, but there's no rules saying that has to be done. It just kind of is done. They make up a piece of paper and then throw it out there. So the bottom line here is some reporter asked, hey, you guys are, the DOJ and the media and everybody's freaking out about this. Donald Trump had classified documents, but nobody really in the legal world has a strong opinion on how, a direct process. Nobody can come up with a direct process of how documents are declassified. So how does the White House deem documents declassified? And then KJP went on this rambling Kamala Harris-esque screed to nowhere. So that's kind of interesting. I don't want to get too off on that because at risk of going on another 20-minute tirade about the FBI nonsense at Mar-a-Lago, I want to play this clip from Peter Doocy regarding vaccination statuses. So I didn't know this. Apparently, you still have to test or show a vaccine card on airplanes, which is like a year and a half out of date. Yet we're still doing it here in the United States. Peter Doocy asked a question. Hey, what about all of the definitely unvaccinated people that are walking across the border? The exchange was kind of interesting. Watch this.
How is it two different things? Somebody unvaccinated comes over on a plane. You say that's not okay. Somebody walks into Texas or Arizona unvaccinated. They're allowed to stay. Why?
But that's not how it works. Like we actually, no.
I know that that's not what you guys want to happen, but that is what is happening.
But that's not, it's not like somebody walks over and that's not how.
Exactly what's happening. Thousands of people are walking in a day. Some of them turn themselves over. Some of them are caught. Tens of thousands a week are not. That is what is happening.
I say this over and over again. I genuinely feel bad for this woman. I'm sure she's a nice person, and I disagree with her policy-wise, I would imagine, on dang near everything. Having said that, she's not up to the job. You know how in sports you have bitter rivalries between sports teams and athletes and players, and in most cases, not all, but in most cases, those two athletes, after the game is over, can come together and shake hands and say, you know, well played. We understand the sport that we're playing. We understand the game that we're playing. Jen Psaki had that sort of thing. Again, disagree with her on policy-wise, and she just flat out lied from the podium a lot. That's not what I'm saying here, but she was good at the sport that is politics. KJP is like a person who came down from the stands who wasn't participating in the game and now all of a sudden is a starting point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers and is just befuddled and confused the entire time. I don't know. Just bad at it. Again, my prediction is around Christmas-ish. She's going to say, I appreciate the Biden administration for giving me this wonderful opportunity to become the first gay, black, female White House press secretary, but I've decided to spend more time with my family, and I think she'll be out because she's bad at what she does. All right, I want to get to this. This is this is kind of funny. I thought this was kind of interesting. This is funny and horrifying. This is horrifying. Funny and horrifying at the same time. Some dude, I don't know who this is. I think this is this got shared on like some big basketball pages. Again, this is not about sports necessarily. I know this is not a sports show. This is a culture show where we talk about politics and the culture surrounding everything. But this is a pretty interesting cultural touchstone here of some guy who's very good at basketball decided to put some fake boobs on under his jersey and go play in an AAU high school girls basketball game and just dominated. Obviously, the point that he's making here, intentionally or not, is that, dudes are going to dominate women's sports if we allow them to. Again, this is both funny, humorous, entertaining, but also horrifying. I'm going to play this clip. I'm not sure. Actually, we're going to play the whole thing. It's a little longish, but the whole thing is interesting, especially at the very end when these girls come up and say what she says. Anyways, check this out.
I'm about to literally make history. Time to go for 30. Oh my God, Cuddy.
Dynasty on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Dynasty. Don't break my nail.
I got it.
Raise the roof.
I did it.
She's little. She's little.
If you're just listening to this dude is head and shoulders above these ladies. Oh, he got a technical. Funny. And he's just dunking. Watch the caption.
Hold on, number 1.
High school? Yeah. St. Francis?
Oh my God!
I just transferred in last week.
So the girls come up and say, hey, what high school do you go to? Oh, and then they're excited because he is going to then play for them, supposedly, or at least they think. Again, kind of funny, also kind of freaking horrifying that this is passable, and that he was even allowed to play. I get the sentiment, but this is, again, kind of a mainstream thing, and I feel like... so House of Highlights... I think was the one that posted this. If you're not familiar in the sports world, they're a big highlights reposter. I think they were the ones that reposted this. It was some big basketball, not political entity that reposted this. And what I think that says, and what I hope that says, is that the society as a whole is starting to recognize. I know a lot of us have been recognizing this for like the last couple of years. Like, hey, you can't do that. But hopefully the broader sense of society that doesn't really look at the political aspect of very different things is starting to look at this and go, oh, yeah, that's a terrible idea. I hope. Anyways, that is that. And I want to move on to this because I thought this was freaking interesting that we didn't play yesterday. But this happened on Friday. Oh, shoot. I didn't change the Chiron. This Chiron of Fauci stepping down is not the deal. I don't know. I'm bad at this job sometimes. This is Bill Maher over the weekend on Friday talking about the Hunter Biden laptop story cover-up. So last week we talked about Mark Zuckerberg, who was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and Joe Rogan asked, hey, did Facebook cover up the Hunter Biden laptop story? Mark Zuckerberg said, yes. We got a tip from the FBI. They said it was going to be disinformation. The inner workings of that are the particulars are we're not going to go into that right now. Mark Zuckerberg basically said, yeah, the FBI tipped us off, and we said, yeah, we're not going to push this story out for however long. Did exactly that, buried it, covered it up, as to not throw the election. I think those are his words. Bill Maher, who is not a fan of that, but not a Trump fan, obviously. Bill Maher is a noted lefty, one of your big intellectual liberals, who's had a show about being a big intellectual liberal for like 20 years now on HBO. but is a big proponent of fairness and doing things the right way. Make sure your arguments are able to convince people as opposed to cheating to win. Bill Maher is a big proponent of that, even though I disagree with him on how he would implement these things. He is a big time, hey, let's not cover things up just so that our side wins. So this exchange between him and Rob Reiner, I think, Amy Klobuchar is also there. But check this out. This is a fascinating clip. Also, I see there's a couple thousand of you watching this across all the little platforms, and the majority of you have not clicked the little like button or the little share button. I would appreciate you doing so. That would be of great help to us continuing doing this show each and every morning. Or let us know what you think in the comment section about the Hunter Biden laptop cover-up. As we all know now, and you're going to see one of his guests here, we all know and have known for a long time that, oh, yeah, they did cover it up. And that was a thing that they did. And Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg have said, yeah, we regret doing that at this point. But this dude on the panel isn't even aware that that's happening. And Bill Maher's reasoning for that is kind of funny. Anyways, click the little like button, the little share button. Really helps us out. And watch this.
So he's saying it's okay to have a conspiracy to get rid of somebody as bad as Trump. It's a little bit of a thorny question because once you go down this road, this is sort of where we are in this country. The other side is so evil, anything is justified in preventing them from taking office. Is it?
No. You know what's not justified? Using armed violence to try to kill people in the Capitol. That's not justified.
Answer this question. Huh? Answer this question.
What is
was
the
it
question?
Appropriate? The question is, was it appropriate to bury the Hunter Biden?
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what they did. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course. You don't follow
I'm
this.
saying you know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know.
All right, sorry, jumping in here. That's the most fascinating thing about this entire thing is this dude, Rob Reiner, not aware of it all. I'm going to replay that really quick and then show you Bill Maher's answer. Watch this.
Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course. You don't follow this.
Saying you know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Well, then you would know about this.
I do know about that.
Well, you're acting like you know.
I do know about that, and I do watch Fox. But the point is, we're going to prove now that the press tried to.
They're admitting it.
The press is admitting it.
Yes, that's not even an issue anymore. They're saying, yes, we basically did this because we didn't want this to throw the election. Yes?
I don't know that they've all said this, and I believe strongly
well, the New York
in the
Times
First
definitely
Amendment.
didn't.
My dad was a reporter. I believe in it. And I think you have to make sure that you're treating people fairly. But I think Rob's point here is that we are dealing with a man who used to be the president right now who literally tried to lead an armed insurrection.
All right. So there's that whole thing that I think, I don't know. Take that what you will. The bottom line here is that Bill Maher is standing up and saying, hey, yeah, the whole Hunter Biden thing was not good, and we need to recognize that. And the other two panelists, Amy Klobuchar definitely knows. She's just cynical politician. But Rob Reiner just didn't even know, had no idea that this was a well-known thing, like Bill Maher said, because he only watches MSNBC. Also, that one thing, Bill Maher says, yeah, the media, the news, Facebook, social media, all covered this thing up. And then Rob Reiner says, well, is it okay if this happened? As if there can only be one bad thing that happens. No. This also was bad, so your point is insignificant. Bill Maher plays it off nicely rather than going down the rabbit hole with Rob Reiner. Says, hey, no, stay on topic. But that seems to be the playbook of pretty much everybody. I'm going to say a worse thing. Well, what do you think about the media covering up Hunter Biden's laptop story? Well, what, do you not care about chihuahuas and their tooth decay? And then somebody else says, oh, do you not care about childhood obesity? I'm just going to keep going down and listing bad things to not have to deal with the bad thing that you said. A couple of the comments here while watching that. Thomas says, poor meathead, so uninformed. Michael also says, is meathead, I don't actually know. Let me know in the comment section. Is meathead like a thing that Rob Reiner gets called? Because several people called him meathead. Olga asked, why are they covering up for Hunter Biden? Because that laptop leak story, remember, came out at the beginning of the election, or sorry, in the middle of the election, right leading up to it, and they didn't want to have the same situation. Now, let's be honest here. The FBI did the same thing to Hillary Clinton, 11 days before the 2016 election? James Comey said, oh, we're reopening the investigation into the letter of Hillary Clinton. And a lot of people think that very well could have had a huge effect on the actual election. They covered up for Hunter Biden because they didn't want that same thing to happen to Joe Biden because of Hunter Biden, because he's a crazy person. And they're definitely in bed with some bad people, both him and Joe Biden and Jim Biden and all of them. But that's why they covered up for him. Let's see. Oh, and Sandy said he's a communist. Yeah, Rob Reiner is pretty far out there in all that stuff. Okay. All right. All in the Family reference. Sweet. Deborah says, All in the Family. Bunker called him meathead. Nice. Okay, cool. So I didn't know that. I don't know. I didn't watch All in the Family. It's probably a little before my time, but I appreciate y'all putting in there or putting that stuff in there. All in the Family. Okay, yeah. All right, guys. I know now. The comments keep coming. All in the Family. All in the Family. All in the Family. What do we want to do now? Do we want to do? Let's do this. This won't take us super long, and then we'll get to the woke freakout. This is actually going to be a fun audience participation of the woke freakout in the segment as soon as we get done with this, because I thought this was freaking fascinating from the Washington Post. But stay tuned. In like 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to let you participate in seeing that you can find the thing in these photos that triggered the woke people. But before that, I want to talk about this. The Washington Post editorial board had an interesting piece last week in the wake of Joe Biden deciding to forgive loans, and by that I mean transfer the debt of other people to the rest of the American people. They were not happy with it. The Washington Post editorial board. Do we know anything about the Washington Post? Other than the fact that they are not a conservative-leaning outlet at all, owned by Jeff Bezos. Big-time lefties, the Washington Post. But their editorial board just lambasted the idea that the Biden administration is going to forgive student debts. And I hate that I use the word forgive, because it's not forgive, it's debt transfer. You're transferring debt from people who make more money to people who make less money, which is the least progressive thing progressives have ever done. But this is from the Washington Post. Listen to this. The unemployment rate for people with bachelor's degrees is higher. Bachelor's degrees and higher is just 2%. People with college degrees have an unemployment rate substantially lower than the rest of the population. It's hard to make the case that college graduates are still facing an unprecedented crisis, which is what they're using to justify the loan forgiveness. The loan forgiveness decision is even worse. Widely canceling student loan debt is regressive, not progressive, regressive. And again, this is from the Washington Post editorial board. It takes money from the broader tax base, mostly made up of workers who did not go to college, to subsidize the education debt of people with valuable degrees. And they don't include this, but I keep saying it. If you have a college degree, you on average make $22,000 more per year than somebody who doesn't, and $800,000 or more on average throughout your entire working career. So would you... Let me pause that. I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to answer this poll question that I asked the other day that will blow your mind. Though Mr. Biden's plan includes an income cap, thresholds do not reflect the need of potential earnings, yada, 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 yada. Basically, people who make more money are getting forgiven by people who make less money. Mr. Biden's plan is also expensive and likely inflationary. A committee for responsible federal budget estimates the extending the loan pause to the end of the year would cost $20 billion, while forgiving $10,000 of households making less than $300,000 a year would cost $230 billion. That estimate is actually closer to $600 billion now. This was written 4 or 5 days ago. Bottom line is this, and this is the last paragraph from the Washington Post. The Washington Post editorial board, their entire editorial team got together and all decided that this is the direction they're going. This is a lefty-leaning news outlet, and they hate the loan forgiveness. Mr. Biden's student loan decision will not do enough to help the most vulnerable Americans. It will, however, provide a windfall for those who don't need it, with the American taxpayer footing the bill. That is fascinating, I think. I wanted to get to this. This is a poll that I asked on Twitter a couple days ago, and the results, I think, will shock you. I said, and this is, again, I have a probably pretty right-leaning audience, probably entirely. But I asked this question. Would you rather, and let me know in the comment section here what you think, because this is not a policy question. This is literally a math question. Would you rather have $50,000 in student debt, but make an average of $22,000 per year more, or would you rather have no student debt, but make an average of $22,000 less per year? This is, again, not a policy question. It is a math question. The numbers that are probably shocking, the people who answered debt, I want the debt, but I want more earnings also, were 67%. Only 67% of people said they wanted the debt and more earnings. 33% of people said no debt, but less earnings. I don't know how to respond or react to that. I know comments will start flooding in. Josh pretty aptly says, $50,000 in debt all day. Yeah. It is a math equation. If you have $50,000 in debt, but are going to make on average $800,000 more over the course of your career, you would be stupid to not take the debt. Literally stupid. Yet 33% of people in the poll that I ran with a very probably right-leaning Twitter audience said, no, I'd rather make less money, but at least I don't have any debt. Yeah, big problem. Anyways, I want to get to this. This is the lefty freakout that all y'all get to participate in. So I want to show you some photos. An actress by the name of Sydney Sweeney got lambasted on Twitter by the woke mob for posting something on Instagram. She was celebrating her mom's 60th birthday. I don't know where she's from, but it was like a, I don't know, hoedown type party. There was line dancing, a mechanical bull, people wearing cowboy hats. I think she's probably from the Midwest somewhere. But her mom was celebrating her 60th birthday, and she posted about it on Instagram to her 14 million followers. And if that shocks you, it did me too. I hate getting older and not knowing what's going on in pop culture. But this person, Sydney Sweeney, had 14 million Instagram followers. And I had no idea who she was until this controversy started. So I would like to invite you to participate in this experiment that we've got going. I want to see if you can find, if you're watching this, you get to participate. If you're listening to the podcast, it's not going to make any sense to you. I want to see if you can find what caused the woke mob to freak out. I'm going to show you all the photos. And I'd be curious if you can even figure it out. We'll just go ahead and start playing these through, and I'll read some of the article as they go. Again, this actress, again, trying to look through the photos and find what it is that caused them to panic, and see if you can find them. We'll give you some time to just look through these photos and see if there's anything that you see that is just so overtly extreme that it would cause the lefty media to lose their freaking minds. All right. Let me know in the comment section. I'll read this article to kind of show you what it is, or at least tell you what's going on. Euphoria actress Sydney Sweeney is coming to the defense of her family after facing backlash over online photos of her family event. She said, "You guys, this is wild." And she's right, by the way. I think she's 24 years old. "An innocent celebration for my mom's milestone 60th birthday has turned into an absurd political statement, which was not the intentions. Please stop making the assumptions," Sweeney wrote on a tweet on Saturday. "Much love to everyone. Happy birthday, Mom." Anybody in the comment section figure out where the freakout was? They freaked out about something in those photos. And if you're watching, I'm curious to see if anybody caught it. There's a lot of people looking at this. There's a lot of people that's like, no, what was it? Woke mob doesn't like people having fun. Oh, Bill or Bob. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe they don't like people having fun. Those photos are fine, says Stephanie, and they're correct. Somebody got it. Somebody got it right. Yes, David. The red shirt that her mom's wearing. Yeah, apparently wearing a red shirt or hat is what it causes people to freak out. Howard said, "I didn't see anything absurd." All right, I'm going to tell you this. Here it is. Here's what's coming. It was a Blue Lives Matter t-shirt. And not really even that. Just a thin blue line stripe. If you're watching right now, this is her dad in the photo. You can vaguely see the shirt that he's wearing is an American flag with a blue line through it, indicating that he supports the police, which is not a controversial stance by any way, in any stretch of the imagination. Yet, the internet lost its freaking minds. This is funny. This is not relevant at all, but it's just funny. Steve thinks maybe they freaked out because she used mom instead of birthing person. That is a hilarious, that might be the comment of the week, Steve, and it's only Tuesday. Hilarious. Yeah, but that was it. The dad, her dad, oh no, was wearing a t-shirt that signified that he, like the majority of Americans, want the police to be active in their community and enforce the law justly. Now, again, I'm sorry if that triggered or offended anyone. But remember, that most Americans agree on that. But the liberal left woke mob had a panic attack over this silly little photo of a 24-year-old actress who has 14 million Instagram followers, posted a photo of her dad wearing an American flag with a blue line on it. That is all it takes to trigger the woke mob. One Twitter user said, "You should have selected other pictures to post that wouldn't be left up to interpretation in this manner. Lesson learned for you, I assume." I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you do with this. Jerry says, "Back the blue, woke is broke. Joke. Oh my gosh. Woke is a joke." Yeah. Somebody said, and I can't bring this on because I think there's bad words in it. Who has time to recognize these sorts of things and these pictures? Get a job. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, we'll leave it there. That'll do it for us today. I think I don't know. I would love to see what Sydney Sweeney's further reaction internally in her mind is. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask her to be on an episode of Jobob Unlimited, the podcast that's coming soon. Anyways, yeah, that's insane. And I don't know what you can do about it. That's going to do it for us today. We appreciate all of you sticking around, tuning in. all of you that watch each and every day, really appreciate you doing so. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. If you haven't already, give me a follow on any of your social media platforms. Type in JOBOB. You'll be able to find me on Twitter, Getter, Truth Social, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of those. The Chiron is still wrong. For those of you who stick around to the end of the show each and every day, the Chiron is still wrong. I am tired for some reason. I feel like I've been yelling a lot this morning. But yeah, you can follow me on there. Send me things that happen in your neck of the woods if it needs to be talked about, or a broader national scale. Would love to bring it on the show. I would say probably 25, maybe 30% of the stuff that I talk about on here is sent to me on social media platforms. So feel free to do that on any of the social media platforms that you prefer. If you haven't already, would love if you click the little like button, the little share button down here, or I don't know, let us know what you think about the show in the comment section. Would really appreciate you engaging with the post in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. God bless America.